Morning YouTube. Had a comment on one of my videos about asking you how to go about the integration of Home Assistant. I've got Home Assistant, but it's sort of a bastardized sort of box of crap that I've messed around with over the years, and so we're going to install a fresh copy. I'm going to use the full install because if you do like the Docker container one, you don't get the add-on store or the supervisor. So I think you need the whole operating system. Now in my scenario, I've got a couple of Intel NUCs floating around the house that I use as ESX hosts, so VM where it is. I've already hit the download button because I'm in Australia and our internet's not real crash hot. So we've got Home Assistant there as an OVA, so that's the virtualization template. Open Virtualization Appliance, I think it stands for, and we're going to deploy it. Let's have a look. I'm going to deploy an OVF or an OVA, and this is good idea. You can ignore the other two Hasio machines that are on this VM. One of them is just a backup. Let me drag that over there, and that goes there. Alright, which disk has got some space? We've got, yeah, okay. So we've got a Synology NAS in the laundry. It's got 6 18 terabyte hard drives in it and 2 NVMe write back caches on it. But the NUC, actually, this is not a NUC, is it? No, this has got a 10 gig network card. Yep, it can go on the NAS, not the DMZ. We'll put it in the VM network. Do I have anything Wi-Fi that's going to want to speak to this thing? Probably. No, that'll be right. Okay. It's effectively a next. You just basically hit whichever data store has got the space to store the disk, and plenty of space on that one. Next. Yep. Which internet do I want it, or which network do I want it attached to? The VM network is my native VLAN. I've got a few, but you'll probably only have one. Next, finished. And down the bottom here, you'll see it's uploading a Home Assistant VMDK. It shouldn't take long. This network's fairly fast. My desktop's got a 10 gig network, and so is the host, so it should be fairly quick. It is early on a Sunday morning here, and I've got a house full of kids, so I've got to try and get this done before they all start stirring, and I can hear they've started. Alright, badidea.hassio. It's booting up. What did it do? Start it and then stop it again. Here we are. Okay. Cool. Bad idea. What's a super complex password? It's going to be a rubbish long password. No, we're not doing address, thanks. We are in sunny, hot Australia. Sure. Can't hurt to contribute, can it? That's cool, man. Don't really care. Alright, settings. We should have add-ons. We don't have any add-ons. Well, you know what, let's just start. What does it actually look like to begin with? So we've got all of our basic settings. Cool. We're not going to enable multi-factor authentication. It's fairly safe where we are. We've got DMZ, like a firewall, DMZ, another firewall. I don't think we're not going to need multi-factor authentication for this. Cool, it can see some of the gear in the house, that's excellent. The energy system, we don't have any consumers or return to grid set up yet, so this is what we realistically, I think the context of the question the guy was asking is how do you get Victron's data into this? So that's the focal point for me. That's why I'm setting up this extra instance. That's clearly not right because I'm not in Amsterdam. Okay, so it's just a blank fresh install. kind of realised as I was editing the video, my Victron controller already had Modbus and MQTT enabled. So it's already enabled for us because we run the AC coupled solar and we've got a Modbus connection, and so it was already turned on. But if you don't have it turned on, you need to turn it on. So go to your controller. I've downgraded. If you've seen my other videos, I had the new GUI on. I've downgraded so I can use the remote console again. That release candidate has got some bugs. But go to your menu, go down to settings, click next, scroll all the way to the second from the bottom one, which is services, select it, and then enable Modbus TCP. Make sure that it is enabled there. You don't have to change anything else. Don't interfere with any settings of any description. You will see all of your devices that are available that you can communicate with over Modbus will appear under available services. So we will refer to this menu quite a lot during the video. If anything's not clear, as usual, chuck a comment down below and I will respond to the comment and do the best I can to answer it. Alright, so after a restart we got the file editor back, so let's get on with it. Okay, we need to enable Home Assistant to communicate with the Victron GX device. Add the following code into your configuration YAML on HA. So we need to go there, configuration.yaml, here we go. I've just had a quick look though. The other Hasio instance is still trying to communicate with this thing. Looks like I've had a crack at this before. That's not going to do anything. It's just saying that the other Home Assistant instance is looking for a device 260 which doesn't exist. It's not going to hurt nothing. This is also what leads me to believe that this is not the case. Like, this is not like the same technology. If I get MQTT Explorer up and we go, yep. We need N system 0 serial. Copy that down here, go and we send it to 0. That will wake up the MQTT. There it goes. And what we want to do is I'm just going to pop that there so I can easily get it back. We go available devices, unit ID is 100.226, right? So these IDs don't even match up. If I go, not system, we want solar charger, 277, 279, 280. And this is saying 226, so it's got nothing to do with it. Let's go and find the 250. There it is. Large 250 is. These aren't the same. But let's follow the instructions anyway, because it seems like he's got it working. So grab this. Okay, there we go. All right. So do we need the ESS grid target? I'm going to say we don't. We'll keep this one as a consumer, that's good. Grid load, we don't need that one because we don't have a grid. Victron energy meter from grid, don't have that one. I mean, it'll be excellent to come back to this if we recommission our grid tied system and we can add that on. NG2 grid, no. Grid energy meter, well, what am I bothering? Let's just keep going. Here we are. Alright, so that is, slave 100 is hub. Let's go have a look. In mine, that's the VE shunt. Uh, 227 is that? Does that make that the charger in the Quattro, or is that actually the Quattro altogether? Oh, hang on, here we go. Unit ID. So hub 4, that's ESS. So let's leave that one as is. Victron solar power from hub. So I think what he means is hub 4, aka ESS. That's what they used to call it. Like hub 3, hub 4, so on and so forth. Like hub 1 through to 4, I believe. So that's grabbing the SOC data. Fair enough. Let's update that to be 200. Minimum stock, that one will be alright. Grid feed-in, we don't have it. Battery data, okay, well the shunt is back at, I suppose it's always at 100 for the shunt and always at 100 for the hub, because they're, like that one's a derived object that doesn't actually exist. But whatever your battery system is, when you set the role that you are the primary battery system, it's always going to be at that address, I assume. So let's keep going. Charge, yeah, cool, all those things. AC in, alright, now I suppose if you're using a generator, happy days, you probably need that, so mine's a Quattro. So it's got 2 AC ins. I'm going to fuck this up, I can tell you that. AC in line 1, AC2 in, which is actually the generator in, but that's not going to be at, oh no, slave 227 is the inverter, isn't it? Yeah, slave 227 is the inverter. AC2, invert it, max over voltage feed in. Is that related to the grid, or is that related to something else? I think I'm just going to leave that one. Even if it has an error, it has an error, it's fine. Battery voltage, that's handy. Battery amperage, that's handy. Battery consumed hours, yeah, okay. Battery state of charge and battery capacity. Alright. Sanity check, yep, cool. Okay. We don't need a slider, so we're not going to bother with it. Automation 2, grid set point, no, we don't need that either. Alright, okay. So at this point you have connected Victron to HA, enabled a UI slider to manage the ESS, set up automations to apply data changes in either device to and from each other. Just full disclosure, I haven't read the rest of this, so I don't know if this guy's come back and corrected anything either. I'm just trusting that it works. So we should, I don't know if, do we need to restart it now? Maybe. Alright, that's reset. Let's jump over to state. This should give us all the objects in the house. We should see whether or not sensor Victron AC line 1 26 2502 escape. That's going to have changed by the time we get out. Pretty close. 2516, yeah, cool. Battery amperage, that's not available. Okay. Is that like the MQTT where we've got to send a message to wake it up maybe? I'll send one and see if that causes it to wake up. 166.7 amps going into the battery, that sounds about right. 167, yep, cool. Alright, so we've got the data in. Does this mean, where do we get consumption from? Can we use, you don't have any statistics, okay. Use a static price. Well, in Australia it's getting ridiculous. Not that we, alright, so we've got the data in, but how do we then use it? Now this might sort of shine a light on what old matey was saying. The comment was that he could never get the information into Home Assistant. Now, he didn't elaborate. I've asked him to respond, and you know, like, shit, I don't expect this guy to rush back there and answer the question. So I've got to make some assumptions that you know, like, he got part of the process working and didn't get the rest of the process working. So what I might do is, we can see that the information is in there. It is coming in via Modbus, not via MQTT, which is fine. It's potentially better. Like, state of charge is unavailable. I imagine the state of charge is going to be unavailable up until the next time that it updates, and when it updates, it will suddenly become available. We've got battery voltage. Now that should be populated realistically. So maybe there's some things I can do to go back and, can you open this? Maybe you can open this. No, you can't. Alright. I can go back and do a bit of troubleshooting there. Let's have a look. Menu. Yeah, okay, so what was that? Shit, go back. Let's clear that. It was not finding one of them. 226. File editor. Can you use control? You can. Alright. Victron battery amperage. 226. Oh, there you go. That's why we're not seeing the amperage, which means the state of charge is probably wrong as well. So Modbus, available devices. Alright, so 226 is a solar charger. Yeah, okay, so what was that expecting? That's coming under battery. 259 is the battery voltage. 227, alright. Victron battery voltage. Where else could that come from? Victron VE pass, 227. I suspect if we set that to 227, the VE bus device probably has. So what we're looking for effectively is this register populated with a uint 16? I mean, I'm again making an assumption. I don't know that. I'm totally guessing because I've never done this before. But let's restart and see if that works. I missed some detail there. That 226 and 309 is what we're looking for. So I might have just adjusted the wrong one. So that is address 261, 226, 265. Victron battery amperage, battery consumed hours. Should these all be, there it is there, Victron battery capacity. The slave address, I mean in his system, he might be using his inverter as a, what do you call it, as the battery meter. So we're going to try changing that to 100, in fact, and if we suddenly start seeing the battery capacity in amps being populated, then we'll assume that slave address should actually be the BMS. So let's jump into available services. Link shunt is at unit ID 100. Okay, we've got a solar charger at 226, so I don't think that's correct, but that's all right. Settings, developer tools, restart. Surely there's a way just to restart the actual app, not the whole computer. Right, see if that is now there or not. What are we looking for? Amp hours, aren't we? Amperage, consumed amp hours, battery current, battery system, state of charge. Well, that doesn't look good. Battery capacity. Oh, battery capacity is now 0. Okay. Wasn't 0 before. So, did we select the right device, or do we need to change it to a different device? Maybe the shunt doesn't hold that, and we need to read that from somewhere else. I thought the shunt did. Let's have a look. Yeah, unit ID is 100. I reckon we should change it to be the Quattro. It's also unit 100. Galvo energy. No, see, that is at 100. Alright, Ruby tags even there. Maybe we're just waiting for that to update, but we need to go through and change all the other 226s over. Six consumed amp hours, 100, 100. Alright, 227 is Victron battery voltage. I can't remember if that was actually being populated or not. I mean, that's the alternative, is we set everything to 227 and it takes it from the inverter instead. Alright, what do we got in the States now? Oh, where are my glasses? Need my glasses. Let's have a look. We've still got a 0 on the capacity, but we now have the consumed amp hours, which is good, and it's changing. Excellent. Battery current is updating. State of charge is now updated, which is good. We've got 70 and 70. Why is there 2? Victron battery state of charge system. Yeah, okay. So that's a rounded number, and that's a float. Battery voltage, still not updated. Alright, let's go and adjust that one then. Cat's wandering around whinging as usual. Victron charge voltage, state of charge system, inverter. That's a voltage. Battery voltage, here we go. So the address, the slave address is 259. Slave is 227. Let's change that. Also to 100. I've really got to find a better way of doing this, because like going and hitting this reset is giving me the willies. Alright, state, let's have a look. AC in voltage 0, line in. What's this? Sensor Victron inverter max overfeed. No idea. Victron solar power is currently at 9292. That's good. Battery voltage 54.5. So battery capacity is still not come through, but we've got consumed amp hours, and we've got a percentage. So I mean, even if we couldn't fix that, a hack would be to figure out by percentage what is that 30% of, because we've got 71%. What is that 29% of? Which, you know, in this case is 1800. I can go without that one for the time being, because I think I'd like to get on with the video, but we can circle back to fixing that, I think. I've got a cat sitting behind a window making strange noises because there's birds outside, so I apologise if you can hear that. The next thing for us is to energy, add consumption.